All right. I guess we got to look over this. Okay. So I don't think that there's any relevancy to any of these things. I've been around the Star Citizen community for an incredibly long time. There's been tons of bar citizens, tons of events, tons of things where the devs are in an environment where they're drinking, they're having a good time, and they're probably saying things that they shouldn't do. Okay? Because if CIG was ready to talk about said things, they would have talked about them by now, right? So these are the things that I'm not so sure about. But Xylo and others, I'm not exactly sure who went to Hong Kong, Bar Citizen, but they shared a bunch, and I don't know. I think they're really trying to like break into that market because they probably saturated themselves at their current state in the markets that we're in. But this is the information apparently that was said there. Squadron 42 being removed from the store is not an indicator of its release timing or any development milestone. The fact that that's only news now is also hilarious. CIJ is excited to see how I can't get through this because it's so ridiculous that this is news. CIG is excited to see how Starfield performs and doesn't see any issue with competition. Of course not, because it's a released game and it'll be a finished game. Well, finished. I obviously think that there's going to be a lot of issues with Starfield on release, but of course, nobody competes with Star Citizen because Star Citizen isn't a game. It's pretty simple. 320 wipe will likely happen only if duplication mechanics have been fixed. What? 320 wipe will likely happen, so that's saying it's more likely to happen, only if duplication mechanics have been fixed. So if they fix all the dupe problems, they're going to wipe everyone clean. So a possible another wipe in 320 if they fix something. Okay. CIG is aware of most duping bugs and is trying to fix them. Yep. Hull C release will provide information on server performance with bigger ships, but there is a low likelihood of any big ships coming out after 320 this year. However, there was a statement made in passing about wishing to see something like the Pioneer coming out this year, and the comment was made, "You really should come to Citizencon this year. I think you'll be happy." All right. This is something where there's a little bit to unpack here. This is really funny. CIG, man, I love these guys because this is the dumbest thing that they do. Are you ready? Hull C. Hull C's release, which they now are like sort of promising with the ISC and the roadmap, we don't know how the servers will perform with it. Are you ready? We don't know how the servers will perform with it. This is about us gathering information on how the servers will perform. So they're going to put it in the PTU. The servers are going to perform poorly. They're going to try and fix them. It's not going to work. They're going to put it in live. The servers are going to perform poorly. And what did we learn this week? Right? Why don't we put these things in the PTU, find out that it doesn't work, and then get rid of it and fix it then? Right? That's the one I don't get. Like if it's going to affect the live servers negatively, then don't have it in the live servers. You have the perfect testing environment with the PTU for it. I never understood that. Okay? Then with the Pioneer, you're really going to like you should really come to Citizencon this year. I think you'll be happy. Oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to share a video of Rastar working with the Pioneer or something? Right? Like, it's just another scenario of the carrot on a stick thing with Citizencon and all the things that they show. They can show homesteads. They can show somebody building a base. They can show anything they want. But until that is a player-facing feature, it doesn't mean anything. They've been doing this for 10 years. You can no longer affect me by your silly updates at Citizencon. right? Or anywhere on ISC or anything. The further out things, they always do this. I think somebody in chat, just said setting up for disappointment. That's exactly what something like that is, right? You're going to show something at Citizencon. You're going to demo something, most likely, that doesn't exist. They've been doing it for years. NPCs walking in and out of ships still doesn't work. Transferring NPCs back and forth to places. Having an NPC fly you somewhere else. This was 2019 Citizencon. The pulling the blanket off of something, right? Like a covered vehicle. That's just some of the minor things at the 2019 Citizencon. How about stealth mechanics at the 2022? Right? We can go sandworms, storms that force your ship to go down. That was 2016. Grab this lake. Okay. This has some corrections in it. All right, so we'll just go from this. Then instead, this is from the Star Citizen base. All right, so there's a lot of information given out about Bar Citizen HK. Some of it was things that everybody knew. I'll try to make notes from what I remember, and Justice W can maybe add things that I might have forgotten. Okay, so now 3.20 will likely happen. Blah, blah, blah. The duping bugs, Halsey. However, there was a statement made in Pedro. We would like to see the big pioneer, and the comment was made, you really should come to Citizencon. I think you would be happy. Yes. Okay. Nothing changes about my statement around there. I'm confused. Each dev has their favorite manufacturer and ship type. Who cares? Okay, why is that even there? Ship designs are going to follow old and new styles from the same manufacturer, such as the Misk Freelancer, Old Misk, and we will likely see an upgrade to the aesthetic of the Hull A, New Misk. That's cool. I think that really works, and people are really excited from that. From the, what is it? The Hornet series, the F7A looks so much better than the old Hornet, right? Stuff like that. I think that's... So now CIG isn't even going to make new ships. They're going to remake old ones and sell them to you. Fucking genius. Well, I think it's a good idea, but it's also insanely ridiculous, right? AI crew blades for simple tasks like mining salvage will not likely be in game until there's more stability. Otherwise, the higher server loads will end up negating their ability to do basic tasks, i.e. when all AI on a server just freezes in place. Who were the developers that were at this, by the way? Who do we know which developers were at this event and who's actually sharing this information? I know Zyla was there. Aaron was there. Oh, God. Todd was there. Okay, so we have a little bit of, like, people who actually know. John Crew was there. Oh, wow. They sent out the whole... Yeah, they're really trying to break into that market. They sent out all the premier developers to that. Surprised Elliot wasn't there. Oh, wait. Yeah. The AI crew blades, this is just telling me we haven't talked about it and we don't care. Reclaimer elevator is unique and is the only type in game, so whenever there are updates to elevators in game, it tends to break the Reclaimer's elevator. But they can only do so much when they're changing aspects of the game. Okay. Yeah, it should not be unique. Salvage mechanics for breaking bigger pieces into smaller pieces are still being thought up and haven't been pushed past concept ideas. In addition, only ships that have been created with the physicalized component systems can be soft deathed. And have their components removed. Older ships that don't have the ability to remove the components manually don't actually have the physical component integrated into the ship. Okay, we know that. AI systems like ChatGPT won't be used to supplement things in game because of proprietary reasons. What? Okay. When base building comes into the game, it will be something more like Fallout 4's prefab house system, not something where you can create a base building panel by panel. Base building is very important to CIG. They want to have people creating bases and whatnot, but it won't be coming out until likely around Nyx. Pyro was asked about for base building, and the response was a resounding nope. So then exactly, like, that should have just been brought up to the statement where you're going to be really excited about the Pioneer. Okay. Sure. If they had a license for ChatGPT, it would be expensive for their purposes. Okay. Different systems, when they come out, will have different themes, and COIG will expect that the way each system looks and acts will reflect on both the theme of the system. I assume they're talking about music. Oh, no. The expectation is that Stanton will feel old and safe compared to the harsh and dangerous Pyro, while Nyx will be more off-grid homesteader themed. Pyro still needs server meshing, and that has been said in many videos. So they're not going to do the... anybody who thinks they're going to do the I will launch from the menu into Pyro is not going to be a thing. That's what that statement means. Smaller side missions will be given at some point, but there's more stability in testing. Okay. Eventually, UGFs could have multiple parts, including where you need to first destroy air assets before going to a bunker on the ground to secure stuff, with also reinforcements coming to try and relieve their colleagues. No time frame on implementation, though. Fair enough. Art aesthetics for different cities, especially human cities, are inspired by their in-game lore, with a lot of tie-ins into sections. Okay. Like Hong Kong was specifically mentioned for making Area 18 and Loreville. Great. When asked about why they don't release specific systems and allow people to navigate them either by menu or loading screen, the response was simply, that's not how we want to do it. We want to get in server meshing, the server meshing thing figured out so we can start rolling in new systems. When follow-up was asked about how many systems, the response was, well, we want Pyro and Nyx as soon as possible, but we haven't built too much of other systems yet. No surprise there. Land beacons that are owned can be sold in-game, or the land that the beacon claimed can be sold, but players are not able to claim land themselves and sell it officially to others, as only types of land claims that are recognized come from the governing authorities. What? There will not be player ownerships of stations in game. Players and groups can control stations if they have people on them and block people from entering them, but the idea of owning them won't happen. Well, looks like I quit. What do you play? Honestly, what do you do then? Like, what's the high level game? Right? This was already known. Honestly, it wasn't. I've heard otherwise. I guess it depends on how big bases can get, but why wouldn't there be, like, I think that what they mean is like Lagrange points, right? Astropub is not a developer, okay? I've heard ex-streamers say this means absolutely nothing, okay? Myself included. I mean, yeah, I'm sort of annoyed by that statement because, but if I was to guess, and this is me coping here for sure, to hope that this isn't the case and maybe get a little bit more information on it, is that bases won't be exclusive to planets, right? And that you can make bases in space as well, right? Asteroid bases, things like that. And sure, we wouldn't be able to own Crusader L1. That's not what I'm asking for necessarily. But something to own that isn't necessarily on the ground would be important to me. Theaters of War assets are not coming into Arena Commander, and Theaters of War is being worked on, but not with a large team priority. We know a lot about that stuff here because DJ spends a lot of time here. 600 rework is still being considered, but not on the tracker because it's taking a backseat to many other things, even though we sold it to you on an ISC and then made you excited for it like they always do, like many of the things that they're doing here in this post. There was a long and complicated discussion about the economy and the effect of the Hull C on the economy, but the gist is that certain ships are considered as haulers, while others are considered as delivery ships. Ones that are able to land are delivery, while haulers carry stuff from one station to another and have interstellar capability. So do delivery ships. Todd Pepe did state that he didn't particularly see the Hull C as interstellar, which is a bit weird. But the long and short of it was that they don't really have a projection on how the Hull C will affect the economy yet. What economy? There is none. Most of the conversation was focused on how players can move things between Pyro and Stanton. Nothing was really said about the Hull C's effect on things when it comes into 320. The reason they don't know how it affects the economy is because nobody cares about the economy. Nobody is making the economy. Nobody at that company is working on the economy. That's why they have no information, is because there is no economy. CIG realized what a mess the updated Cutlass price debacle was, and double pinky swear that anytime there will be a price increase on existing ships, they will be advertised well beforehand on Spectrum. Sure. FPS sliding and additional animations will be a thing. No ETA given. No shit. Passenger transport missions will come after freight transport missions. Sure. Quanta isn't seen as a virtual economy gameplay, more NPC focused and adjusting shop prices in game. If it's that simple, why isn't it in game? Persistent hangars are slated to come out when the next iteration of the cargo systems come into the game. AI blades aren't really being worked on right now, but NPC crew stuff with wingman commands are being tested, but no idea when we will have that implementation. Yeah, because it's Squadron 42. Again, the main thing I'm gutted about is this. But again, no player ownership of stations. Being able to control stations are interesting. What inside can you control other than blocking people from entering them isn't really controlling them, which is why I think there's quotes around it. But again, if we are not also making bases of our own out in space, what are we doing, right? If we're able to make them on the ground, we should be able to make them in space. And all this just tells me is that they're still flying by the seat of their pants, and that is what Star Citizen has been this entire time, right? So nothing new here. Surprise, surprise. They're not sure how things are going to work. Welcome to Star Citizen, everyone.